Bloomberg LP is a company that is built around one key product.
Welcome to the Bloomberg, the total investment management tool, which lets you perform a vast array of analytical functions at the touch of a key.
Nearly 40 years after launching Bloomberg LP now has an army of journalists and a TV channel. But its success and Michael Bloomberg's fortunes still revolves around the iconic terminal. Let's look inside. 325,000 people pay tens of thousands of dollars each year for a subscription. It's a must-have for traders who need a vast array of data at their fingertips. And a lot of subscriptions means, of course, a lot of revenue for Bloomberg LP, an estimated $10 billion every single year. And Bloomberg owns 88% of it all. That has made him a very rich man and very conflicted, certainly, if he were to become president. An advisor to the Bloomberg campaign told CNN that Michael Bloomberg will sell it all if he becomes president.
Mike will release his tax returns. Mike Bloomberg will also sell Bloomberg LP. There will be no confusion about any of his financial holdings, blurring the line between public service and personal profiteering. We will be 180 degrees away from where Donald Trump is on these issues, because Donald Trump is a walking financial conflict of interest.
Joining me now, Tim Naftali is CNN's presidential historian and a former director of the Nixon Presidential Library. Tim, thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
So here's the thing. Donald Trump didn't divest.
Right.
He didn't sell. In the court of public opinion, when it comes to how the public and the average voter on the street perceives you, does Bloomberg even need to do this?
Well, the question, of course, is Donald Trump is not a popular. He has an intense following, but he still hasn't cracked 50%. So the question you need to ask ourselves is, how do Americans want to see their presidents in the future? Donald Trump is an exception. Presidents before Donald Trump divested, sold, created trusts so there'd be no conflict or no apparent conflict of interest. Donald Trump tested the waters, decided that his base didn't care, and said, I'm not going to do that. But going forward, does that become the new normal? And that's the great debate about all kinds of aspects of the Trump administration. So I would say it this way. Should Donald Trump be defeated, are the American people saying, you know what, we want to go back to the old rules? Not necessarily the old ways.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But I'd say that Mike Bloomberg, if he wanted to be Trumpian, wouldn't have to divest. But I suspect one of the arguments, and we can see it from his ads already, one of the arguments he's saying is, I'm not Trump. We don't need Trump. I'm going to be different. And he's, in fact, talking about the way presidents used to be. So it would be bad for his brand for him not to divest.
Okay, so I want to talk about how Michael Bloomberg has changed the landscape of this race, and also what sort of pressure he's under tonight. Because, yes, he owns a media company, but does that really mean that he knows and understands what it means to perform on television at a time of, you know, a lot of public pressure, the entire country's watching you? I mean, this is it. I mean, he could either surge or it's over after tonight.
So if you see a smile on my face, it's because those of us who study history and watch politics love uncertainty.
Okay.
That's the analyst in me. The citizen in me does not like that. I can't say. We are going to find out. We are going to see how he does on a debate stage. We are going to see how he does in Super Tuesday, where he swooped, he just came in like an eagle. And will he get all these votes that he didn't fight for the way that Warren and Buttigieg and Sanders did in Iowa and in New Hampshire? We just don't know. There are a number of question marks about democracy in the 21st century. One of them is, what prompts people to vote? Do you go to vote because you enjoy the show? Do you go to the vote because you're thinking about your family's, the realities of your family life? We don't know. We were surprised in 2016, and turnout is going to determine 2020. Mike Bloomberg, I think, is basically betting that there's a new social media era, and that you can come in without doing retail politics, without shaking lots of hands, and become president.
You can buy your way.
Well, Money
$400
is always
million gets you onto the debate stage.
Okay, here's the thing. Yes, money. It's his money.
And he spent so much money supporting other candidates within the Democratic field who don't want to speak out against him.
Well, okay. I think that every voter will have to make up her or his mind about the character of the next president. And they've got to decide if it matters how people made their money. They've got to ask themselves how they assess the judgment of that person and the direction that person wishes to take the country. So they are going to decide. Now, there's no question that Mike Bloomberg has changed the nature of the game because he can Bigfoot it. He doesn't have to go and raise money. Donald Trump didn't want to spend a lot of his money, but he had money. And Donald Trump had 22 million viewers, people who remembered his show. So he had his own set of advantages. The question, I think about is, could somebody like Jimmy Carter, I'm not saying necessarily his persona or his politics, but somebody out of nowhere, could someone like that become president? Now, we still have some candidates in the race. Pete Buttigieg, for example. His candidacy is not over, and the story hasn't been told. So it's not clear, that a media mogul necessarily has all he needs to become president, or at least nominee.
Jimmy Carter partly became president because of what happened before him. We have to leave it there. I'm being yelled at in my ear. Tim Naftali, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. EU